What is going on, NFC South Roundtable? It is your usual suspects back at it again for another video. In this one, we are going to be giving our previews and predictions here for Week 10. Of course, we got the Panthers and the Giants. We got the Buccaneers and the 49ers. And a big in-division game between the Falcons and the interim head coach here. First game without Dennis Allen for the New Orleans Saints. We have a lot to get into. As always, I am your host, Colby Cochran, here with Roundtable Sports. Today's video brought to you by BetUS. Right now, when you guys sign up, super quick, takes less than 60 seconds, and you use the promo code that you see on the screen, YouTube150, you'll be locked in for an exclusive limited time offer of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, followed by 125 on your next two deposits, all the way up to $2,000. That is a deal on your first three deposits when you guys sign up right now and use that promo code that you see on the screen. BetUS, they got the fastest payouts in the industry. They can give you a 200% crypto deposit bonus. They can also give you 10% back on your net losses 2 times a year, and they can give you your very own unique personalized account manager. Absolutely awesome. They are changing what it means to be an online sports book, and everybody at Roundtable Sports uses them for a reason. They also have 24/7 personalized service, 365 days a year, live wagering on all major games, and the best betting variety in the business. You can bet on NFL futures like the NFL Draft. You can bet on Coach of the Year, MVP, NFL games, player props, parlays, and if you're just like, hey, I'm not really feeling like I want to bet on the NFL right now, which I guess if you're a Panthers fan or a Saints fan, it makes sense. As a Patriots fan, I totally get it. You can also bet on college football, basketball, baseball, horse racing, fighting, politics, entertainment. It is something that you want to bet on. I guarantee you that BetUS is going to have it. But play smart, play responsible, never bet more than you can afford to lose. But remember that supporting the sponsors that support this channel supports not everybody just here at the NFC South Roundtable, but everybody at Roundtable Sports. So shout out again to BetUS. But Clay, I want to go on over to you. You guys are coming off with a victory heading here into Week 10. You are going up against the Giants. I mean, the Giants haven't exactly been a good team. Maybe a winnable game and maybe an opportunity for you guys to come with back-to-back wins. What are you thinking about this?
Yeah, I can't remember the last time Carolina's gone back-to-back and wins. This game's going to be at 9:30 a.m. EST because it is in Munich, Germany. So this game's in Germany, which I'm looking forward to. This Panthers team, I still think, is a team that's trying to find its identity. You're scoring off against the Giants who've been a mess in their own right? And the Giants aren't good. No one's saying they are, but they do have some weapons. That could spell trouble for this Carolina's defense. And I think Daniel Jones, whose mobility could exploit this shaky run defense of the Carolina Panthers. You also got Malik Neighbors, who I'm scared that could run circles around Carolina's secondary if given any space, and that's not even the main threat. I think the Giants' defensive front is no joke. Dexter Lawrence is one of the league's most dominant nose tackles in the NFL. Brian Burns, of course, he's probably foaming at the mouth to get a shot at his old team who absolutely butchered his contract situation before trading him. So there's no question he's out for revenge. But I think that the Panthers win this. I think, let's be clear, this won't be pretty. I think the Panthers' offensive line is better than what people think. We finished in the top 10 ever since week 1 with the lowest pressure rate every single week so far this season. The Giants are a wounded team. The Carolina, I think, might have enough to scrap by, especially if Ike Ekwonu is good to go, which hopefully he can keep Burns in check. But both the teams are struggling. But Carolina, I think, is still desperate in desperation mode, and this could be just enough to tip the scales.
Ooh, all right, James, what do you think about this game?
Quick question for Clay. Is Andy Dalton ready to play?
Yeah, I mean, he's ready to go.
All right, fantastic. I'm taking the Carolina Panthers, baby. Let's go. They're on the war path, and they're riding high. Monumental win against the New Orleans Saints, and they are on a roll. They're facing another team in the New York Giants. That's just another victim on their list, baby. That's all we're calling it, because the Panthers are prowling, okay? So y'all better get ready. I have the Panthers winning this game. Look, the Giants aren't a very good team right now. I think the Panthers are going to be riding a bit of momentum here with that win against the Saints. I do think they're bringing back Andy Dalton's going to help out this offense a little bit more. I saw some nice things from the defense with Charles Harris and whatnot. I guess being something for them. I don't know. And yeah, I have the Panthers winning.
Ooh, okay. What do you think, Smitty? Are you also taking the Panthers or are you taking the Giants?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Panthers in this one, man.
Woo!
I don't have no faith in Daniel Jones, man. I'm gonna keep it real. Daniel Jones is robbing them blind. They have one of the best sack teams in the NFL, but when you can't move the football and your defense stay on the field too long, that's a recipe for a loss. And as I've been telling y'all, man, Trevor Herbert is a top 10 running back. He had 72 yards and touchdown last week, a walk-in touchdown. But look, I don't think the Giants can stop him. I don't trust Daniel Jones. I'm taking the Panthers for a win.
All right, let's see, TJ. It all comes down to you. Who are you taking?
Man, look, Carolina Panthers. I'm taking the Carolina Panthers because I'm forever indebted to the fine folks in Charlotte. Carolina Panther fan, coast to coast, y'all all right with me. Look, y'all gonna win every game in my book, but nah, seriously. In this case, I just think that
every week.
I just think that the Carolina Panthers, they're good. They're good. They're. I don't want to say that.
Choose your words very carefully here, TJ.
I'm trying to. Okay, hold on.
He's not trying to get too hype. Say something wrong. They're a Super Bowl team.
Look, they're a team that I just feel like they can build on this momentum that they have right here. I think they got some good pieces. I mean, we seen Sanders, he came alive. We seen Chuba Hubbard, and they got some bright spots on this football team. They really do, man. I think they missing a few pieces, but the Giants, good defensive team when it comes to sacks. I think they're the number one team in the NFL in total sacks, right? As a team. But like you mentioned, and Daniel Jones, not very good. Not very good. I think they're going to be able to run the football because, unfortunately, the run defense of Carolina is not very good. But at the end of the day, I got Carolina winning this football game. I think that they probably win by a field goal.
Ooh. All right. Well, it looks like the Panthers have a lot of expectations rather on them getting 2 back-to-back wins as we enter week 10. But James, let's go on over to you. Your Buccaneers, unfortunately, looks like they were cooking early on in the season, looking like a playoff team, had that real shot, that real opportunity to take the NFC South by storm and win the division. But over the last few weeks now, you guys just have not been that same team, obviously in large part because of the injuries, but you play a close one in week 9 against the Chiefs, which we broke down on Tuesday. Make sure you guys check out that live stream if you have not already after you watch this video, of course. But what do you think? You guys heading into week 10, you're playing the 49ers. The 49ers are a good team, but they haven't exactly lived up to expectations. What are your thoughts on this?
I think this will be it'll be a competitive game. But I do have the 49ers winning. Look, they are getting back Christian McCaffrey. And it seems like they are starting to figure out things a little bit more here as the season is progressing. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to be a big part of that. If he does come back and play. If he doesn't, I do think the Bucs have a much better chance of winning this football game. If he does play well, it's not, that's not good. I think we saw some positive things in that Chiefs game. The defense looked about as good as it's looked in the past, since that Saints game. I think that Baker Mayfield and the offense have been pretty darn good. But the 49ers have a pretty good defense. They have one of the better rosters in the league right now. It is going to be a tough matchup. Ultimately, I do think the 49ers will squeak out a win here going into the bye week for the Bucs. They will be 4-6. Thankfully, the second half of their schedule gets a fair bit easier. But I do have them dropping to 4-6 here. While you did see some positive things in terms of run defense, in terms of passing defense and whatnot in that Chiefs game, if Christian McCaffrey plays, I do believe it'll be a bit too much for the Bucs to handle. If he doesn't play, I still just have the 49ers etching out a win here.
All right, let's go down to you, Smitty. What do you think about the Buccaneers and the 49ers?
I'm gonna pull a bit of surprise here, man. I'm going with the Bucs. It's just something going on with the 49ers I can't put my hand on. Yeah, they had one of the better rosters. I get that, James. But it just seemed like Brock Purdy is not the Brock Purdy he was the last 2 years. You saw that game against Arizona. They came in and play, hit him in the mouth. I think even with all the injuries, I think Tampa Bay can do that as well. So I'm gonna take the Bucs in a stunner right here. I'm gonna go 2017 Tampa Bay, only because I think Baker Mayfield can get those guys up to fight. And as I look at the way the 49ers defend the run, I think Bucket Irvin can have a big game.
Ooh, okay. The upset. I like that, Smitty. I like that. What about you, TJ? You going with the upset or nah? You gonna roll with the Niners?
Nah, I got the Buccaneers in this game. Like, I agree with like Smitty. You took the words right out of my mouth, man. Brock Purdy looks suspect, and it also just shows you that Brock Purdy is one of those quarterbacks that need like the perfect circumstance. Like he needs Christian McCaffrey. Like you need that running back that can turn your 2-yard pass into a 62-yard touchdown. Like you need Deebo Samuel to be able to take, they got guys that can get yards after the catch. And when any of those guys are out of the lineup or they're dealing with some type of ailment, he can't deliver. And if you notice, he struggled in the red zone, man. I mean, there was a couple of times where he got down there turning the ball over. So it just shows that he needs some help. And if Christian McCaffrey comes back, then it will help. But I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can do enough to knock off the San Francisco 49ers. I just think that you got to put pressure on Brock Purdy, got to force him to make mistakes, maybe take advantage of some of the short fields if you get turnovers on him. I think that they can win this football game, and is at home. So you got the home crowd behind you. Why not?
All right, and Clay, wrap us up here. What do you think? Who are you taking here? You taking the 49ers?
I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No, everybody's going Bucs here. What?
I'm with everybody. I've been keeping an eye on the 49ers. Brock Purdy has not been tearing it up on the road, and he's bad on the road. He has a 59.6 completion rating. He's only has 3 touchdowns to 6 picks when he's away from home. Those are some very iffy stats. And yeah, they've got a rock solid ground game and a ground attack, but that can carry in the win. But let's be honest, if this game comes to shootout, I'm taking Baker Mayfield right now because he's got the hotter hand. That offense is on fire even without Mike Evans. We saw it against Kansas City. Like I said, Todd Bowles just has to grow a set of balls and go for it. And that's plain and simple. But I'm taking the Bucs. I think it's going to be close though, but I got the Bucs winning 32-29.
Wow, what do you got to say about that, James? Were you expecting everybody to take the Bucs here? I don't think you were.
Can I change my vote?
You want to go back to Bucs?
Yeah, I'll pick the Bucs. Let's just all pick Bucs. I appreciate you all being supportive of me.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I think that the 49ers are basically just living off reputation right now. I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to their imperfections. I really don't. And because I think everybody is waiting for Christian McCaffrey to come back, and they're like, oh, once he comes back, then, the train is going to be rolling. But I don't know, man. They don't look like the same football team that we've seen. I don't know if it's that fatigue of getting so close, knocking on the door of prosperity and just getting slapped down time after time. I mean, that does play a huge role, man. I mean, teams start to get better. You start to get respect around the National Football League. You get everybody's best shot. They're not the same team, man. They're not.
Yeah, and if you look at Tampa Bay's defensive line, the way they played against one of the better interior offensive lines in the Chiefs last week, that's a positive sign for the Bucs. That means they're going to be able to get out to Brock Purdy. And we talk about, like he said, that 59% completion percentage. Ooh, that's not good. Yep. You mix that with a decent pass rush, that's going to be a problem. Yep. And we know the Bucs can play good at home.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, you guys let us know in the comment section below. Who are you taking? Are you taking the 49ers or are you taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? We want to hear from you. But let's get into this final game, a big in-division game again between the Falcons and the Saints. Smitty, I want to start with you. And then Smitty, when you're done, TJ, you can take on over.
Cool. This game, man, I just think, like I've been saying, man, the last 2 weeks, Falcons got to get out to a fast start against a team like New Orleans, man, who's giving up 376 yards total offense each game. That's damn near at the bottom of the league. So you hit them in the mouth early, you make them one-dimensional, and I think that's a recipe for a win. Yeah, the Saints probably going to get up and play for the new coach, the interim guy, because they happy Dennis Allen gone, but at the same time, they still need a lot. Injuries, you talk about Chris Olave, who just went out. So Derek Carr is back, but we know when he has to carry the team, you might as well pack a lunch and go home early. Alvin Kamara put on the show last week over 200 yards from scrimmage, just like Bijan Robinson had 145. So those two guys, I think, could be the decide factors. But Alvin Kamara only had, I think, 42 yards the first game against Atlanta. They completely shut him down, and I think they can do that again, even in New Orleans. So if you make them one-dimensional, I think that's a recipe for a win. Bijan probably goes over 100 yards from scrimmage again. The defense had 3 sacks last week. That's a positive sign. And against the beat-up offensive line in New Orleans, I think they can continue that trend. So I'm going to take my Falcons, man, on the road in New Orleans. I'm taking by 10 because I would say blowout, but it's a divisional game. We know they can be tricky. You throw the records and the yards and all that out the window because any given Sunday in a divisional game, you can suffer a loss. But I'm going to take the Falcons by 10. I'm going to go 27-17.
Well, I feel that this is going to be a game where the New Orleans Saints are going to be inspired. I don't care what anyone says. Like, they did not want to play for Dennis Allen. They are not motivated. I seen right after he got fired, you had Carl Granderson like put a picture up of him smiling, walking into the facility. They did not like this guy. I mean, there was no love lost here. And I think these guys are going to come out there. They motivated. They ready to hunt. I think that the most dangerous individual is an individual that has nothing to lose. The Saints aren't going to make the playoffs. They're not in, any type of contention to win the division. So they can do whatever they want. Like, they can throw different things at the Atlanta Falcons. They can come up with these trick type of plays. They can, break different people in that different circumstances or scenarios that Atlanta probably haven't seen. I also think that the energy is going to be a little bit different. Like, I'm not naive. I think the Atlanta Falcons are a good football team. But like you said, this is a divisional rival. And man, like between the Saints and the Falcons, like they do not want one another to, sweep them, right? So I got to take the Saints in this game, man. I think the Saints going to do everything they can to win this football game. Like, it's so deep that if the Saints don't win another football game for the rest of the season, like this will probably, give them happiness. The fact that they know that they split with the Falcons. So I'm going to take the Saints.
All right. Let's go on up to you, Clay. What do you think?
Yeah, they fired Dennis Allen. They tossed in Darren Rizzi, or however you pronounce his last name.
That's right.
And now they have a going up a scorching hot Falcons offense. I think the deciding factor is actually going to be Kirk Cousins because he's been lights out. He's throwing at a 79% rate right now, averaging over 250 yards, 7 touchdowns over the past 2 weeks, no picks. That's bad news for New Orleans. And sometimes teams rally around a new coach. But the Falcons are 3-0 straight up on the road, and that doesn't happen by accidents, man. Like, they've shown they can win on hostile turf. With the Saints in turmoil, Atlanta has no reason to let up. Now, I do think this game's going to be close because all in-division rival games are always close, but I expect the Falcons to keep their foot on the gas. The Saints will scramble to keep up, but I got the Falcons 31-27.
All right, taking the Falcons. Who are you taking, James, here in this big in-division matchup?
Well, as much as I want Darren Rizzi to rizz up the Saints and help them lead to victory, I've been waiting for that one, man. I've been waiting for that one.
I've been in the chamber for a minute, I can tell.
I do have the Falcons winning this football game. The Saints are, while the argument can be made that when you fire a head coach, sometimes you can rally around a new coach, much like what Clay was saying. Again, you trade away Marshawn Lattimore, you bring in a new coach. It's just, this is a team that's in flux right now. They're big changes are happening in this organization right now. I think that affects the chemistry. I think that affects the overall cohesion of the team. Meanwhile, the Falcons, again, they're winning a lot of football games right now. They're looking very good, especially in division play. They're 4-0 in the division right now. So I do have them winning this game. I think that the combination of Darnell Mooney and Drake London is going to be a big factor here, especially after you get rid of a guy like Marshawn Lattimore and you have all the injuries to that cornerback room that the Saints have. I could see this being a big game for Kirk Cousins and the Falcons passing attack. And I just don't think the Saints necessarily have the pieces right now to win this football game. Now, I will say firing Dennis Allen was the right move. I want to stress that. But I think it also kind of tells you where this organization is right now at the middle of the season, where they are definitely more so in evaluation mode. And I just don't necessarily see that amounting to winning a lot of football games going forward.
Well, hey, look, guys, that is going to wrap up the previews and predictions here for Week 10. As always, though, this is where we kick it to you guys. Who do you think is going to win each of these matchups? The Panthers and the Giants, the Buccaneers and the 49ers, and then that big in-division matchup here between the Falcons and the Saints. We want to hear from you guys, so make sure you guys comment in the comment section below. Make sure you guys subscribe here to the NFC South Roundtable, as Clay is telling you to. Make sure you guys leave a like because it helps support us massively, 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 massively on this channel. Make sure you guys hit that bell notification when you do subscribe so that you can get notified every single time we post. Make sure to subscribe to each of these guys' individual channels, links in the description box below. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Another big shout out, of course, to BetUS. Make sure you guys use that promo code YouTube150 to get an exclusive limited time offer from them. But until next time, we will see you guys next Tuesday live at 7 p.m. Eastern to break down everything that happened here in Week 10. Until then, though, stay safe.